I am Retro, this is Retro Rips. No short intro for today, straight to the point. WatchMojo.com. I've never heard of these picks before in my life, but apparently they do top 10 lists of pretty much everything there is to do a top 10 list of. They recently came out with a top 10 list of the best Naruto characters ever, and Naruto fans universally hate it. By and by, people are saying that these people have no idea what they're talking about in terms of the show, are definitely not fans of the show, seem like people who just took a glance at the show like maybe one or two times and then made their opinion about it and suddenly says that these are the best characters. See, I got a problem with that. But unlike most people who are probably going to make their competing top 10 lists, I'm going to hark on one particular character that they chose to put on their number 4 spot. And if you've read the title of this video, it should come as no surprise to you that today I'm here to hark on Sakura Haruno. She is, in my opinion, the worst character in all of Naruto. Sakura Haruno embodies everything that's wrong with the female portrayal in Naruto. And that's what this video is about. I'm going to do this in increments because the way that I feel about Sakura changes as time goes on in the manga. And knowing the history helps you understand why exactly I feel like Sakura is the worst character. So to start, Sakura Part 1. Starting off this manga, Sakura really is nothing more than a female ninja that Naruto happens to have a crush on. But going further in, she becomes a member of Team 7 along with Naruto and Sasuke, a group of genin who, under the lead of Kakashi, go upon missions to, do ninja-like things. Anyone who's watched more than the first couple of episodes of Naruto should remember the part where Kakashi-sensei asked these kids 3 questions. Of these 3 questions, the most important one was, what is your goal in life? Sasuke answers, to kill a certain someone. Naruto answers, to become Hokage. Sakura answers by just generally glancing in Sasuke's area. You see, this mentality is fundamentally flawed because Sakura has no other guide in life besides pleasing Sasuke. She has no real desire to live, no drive to make her better, so she doesn't even end up really trying to survive as much as Naruto and Sasuke do. They go off on their very first mission, and true to his depiction, Kishi makes sure to acknowledge the fact that Sakura has no desire, no ambition to drive her to do anything great while off on these missions. She simply stands there the entire time, taking care of the client. But meanwhile, Sasuke and Naruto are on the front lines taking all the damage and doing all the work while she just stands there looking like a moron. And then when push comes to shove, she can't even protect the old man, so what good is she? Cut ahead to the Chunin exam. What's the Chunin exam, you ask? Well, ninjas come in ranks. Genin, Chunin, Jonin, and Anbu, I guess. I don't know. Kage, maybe? It's kind of iffy. Go watch Naruto or something if you don't know. I don't freaking know. What I do know is that this is the only point in part 1 where Sakura begins to become relevant. Naruto and Sasuke are knocked unconscious, and because they are, knocked unconscious, she has to end up fighting for herself as opposed to relying on them to do all the fighting for her. It goes about as well as you'd expect. She pretty much gets the shit kicked out of her, but some friends arrive in the nick of time to help out. Even though she loses, I'd say this is still a win for Sakura. Why? Because even though she's a spoiled little entitled brat, this scene right here, this episode, it shows that she has potential to grow. And that's the most important thing you want in a shonen protagonist, even if she is female. From this point forward, we had hope that Sakura might turn out to be something more than the spoiled little entitled brat that she inevitably turned out to be. And hey, it's not like everything's completely terrible for Sakura. Finally, 2 or 3 years into the manga, she becomes the centragonist of the story when she defeats her arch rival, Ino, in a battle of skill. Though, to be fair, the Hokage calls the match a draw because Sakura didn't technically have any jutsu to get out of the jutsu that Ino had her in. But hey, still, it's a win for Sakura. But, as far as the manga is concerned at least, this is the last time in story that Sakura will receive a win until part 2. So, yeah, kinda sucks to be you, Sakura fans. It must be really confusing to be a fan of the anime and have to wade through so much filler where Sakura comes off as somewhat appealing, I suppose. But no, this is not a true character. This is just a bunch of anime story bullshit that they put in to, fill up the story until they got to part 2. In reality, Sakura doesn't get another win until the beginning of part 2. I say this in all honesty. For the remainder of the manga, the in-canon source of the Naruto story, Sakura brings nothing to the table but emotional baggage. I mean, she gets captured by Gaara, shunned by Sasuke. She has this whole thing where Naruto where she basically begs him to bring back Sasuke no matter what. Yeah, I really don't have anything pleasant to say about Sakura past this point, so right from the get-go, Sakura is a character that's described as outright fickle. Her only goal in life is to get Sasuke to acknowledge her. And Sasuke is a freaking psychopath, as we will learn later on in the series, so that goal is one of crazy incompetence that she should have given up as soon as she found out that he was a psychopath. But I digress. She begins to become redeemable once she has this whole arc where she has to protect Sasuke and Naruto from a band of ninjas who are going to come to kill them because they've been knocked out by Orochimaru. An evil snake dude who turns out to be one of the most powerful villains in all of the Naruto history who comes and tries to take Sasuke away. Anyway, Sakura has to protect these two, and she really, even though prior to this she's never shown any actual ninja skills, manages to own up to her responsibilities as a member of Team 7 and protect Sasuke and Naruto for as long as she can. This is the first instance where I, as a fan, start to feel like Sakura has potential as a character to grow. Too bad the lesson doesn't stick. By the end of part 1, it's quite obvious that Sakura's obsession is proving herself the equal of Naruto and Sasuke. Which is why when Sasuke leaves to be with Orochimaru and Naruto goes off to train with Jiraiya, the only thing she could think to do is to train with Tsunade, a legendary Sannin who, by all accounts, should be the equal of Jiraiya and Orochimaru, but Kishi hates women, so she's not, and thus ends Sakura's betrayal in part 1. Which, I mean, it's not terrible. Certainly not praiseworthy as being one of the best characters in the series, but not terrible. Part 2 is where people generally start to pick up on the hate. 2 years later, eager to strut her stuff and show the world what she's made of, Kishi now has a promise to make good on. Sakura now has to prove that she is the equal of Naruto and Sasuke. And, well, she doesn't start off unimpressive. She has this fight with Sasori towards the beginning of part 2 that is, like, one of the best fights in the manga, period. But she has fight from a little old lady who saves her ass on multiple occasions, so you can't really qualify it as a fight that's all her own. Still, this is the closest Sakura will ever come in manga to having a fight that's all her own, and she does pretty impressively for what it's worth. Too bad that, like I just said, this is the one and only fight that Sakura will have all her own. You know, besides the Ino fight, but that barely even counts. Sakura actually gets to kill a guy in this fight. You see, over the time skip, Sakura became the student of Tsunade, the most brilliant medical ninja in all of Naruto. Problem: this regulates her to being only a medical ninja, which wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing, but this means that Sakura doesn't get to fight during the entirety of the rest of the Naruto saga, at least for the most part. She'll be regulated to nothing more than a healer, and while I guess this is empowering on some level that Sakura is always there supporting the main characters and being there when they need to be healed and stuff, getting them when they're down and etc., it's just not the role of a centragonist, in my opinion. It's the role of someone who's barely in the manga at all. It's frustrating because Sakura's in the manga a lot, so you'd think that they'd give her a bigger role than simply being a medical ninja. They can make literally anybody a medical ninja, but why Sakura? She's supposed to be your centragonist. I get it's because you made Tsunade a master healer, but that's kind of a contrived plot point in itself, too. She never actually does anything with it aside from saving Lee and Kakashi with it. A part of me thinks that you kind of wrote yourself into a corner with that plot point and it kind of screwed you over from there on out, that Sakura had to be a medical ninja. But even then, she could have gone out and found other skills other than being a medical ninja from another person other than Tsunade, but that is all besides the point. And because immediately after the Sasori fight, Sakura is regulated to nothing more than a healer for the remainder of the manga, let's skip to the next point of relevancy, the confession. For those of you who didn't finish Naruto all the way through, and thought that inevitably Naruto and Sakura would end up as a couple and have their happily ever after, The confession is the point in which your dreams begin to die. So at some point, Sakura begins to feel guilty that Naruto's essentially dedicated his entire life to bringing Sasuke back. Someone's put it in her head that she might even be the reason that he's dedicated his life to doing so. So, to recompense for this, she says that she's in love with him and that she's willing to go back to the village and start a life together as, boyfriend and girlfriend and have a loving relationship and blah 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 blah. Problem: Naruto doesn't buy it for a second. He says that he hates people that lie to themselves. And to be fair, Sakura's never shown any interest in Naruto up until this point. I mean, other than a friend and randomly flirting with him from time to time, she's really shown not nearly as much interest as she's shown in Sasuke. When this fails, she tries to go off and kill Sasuke herself, so that way Naruto never has to deal with his sorry punk ass again. But, again, she's Sakura, so this fails. Sakura's story won't truly come full circle until towards the end of the Shinobi War. She activates her symbol on her forehead that's the same thing that Tsunade has on her forehead, giving her the approximate strength of a Kage. So, in a way, she's caught up to Naruto and Sasuke. But in a major way, she also hasn't, because from this point forward, Sasuke and Naruto go on to gain even more incredible strength than this. And furthermore, she hasn't really done anything in the manga to earn this power. If she would have done something in the manga, I would have explained it during this explanation, but no. The most she's done to earn this power-up is be the pupil of Tsunade. Therefore, everything she's done up until this point of the manga has led up until this, the final climax of her story, and she hasn't even earned it. Yeah. Way to go, Sakura! Push comes to shove, the best of the best come out to play, and simply put, Sakura does not have what it takes to play with the best of the best. She does help out towards the end of the manga, like she keeps Naruto alive during a time when he almost dies, and she does manage to land that one hit on Kaguya, as well as supply chakra to Obito at a necessary moment when he needed it, but other than that, it's kind of disappointing for someone who we thought was our female centragonist. But hey, in the end, she marries Sasuke like she always wanted to, and goes on to be a mother. That's an accomplishment, right? Right? I mean, Naruto became the Hokage / Jesus, and Sasuke became the most powerful shinobi on the face of the earth, but that's a win, right? Right? Have you found a trend in what I've been talking about? Sasuke, Naruto, Sasuke, Naruto. What about Sakura? What does Sakura want as a person? She has this one interaction with Ino in the middle of part 1 where it seems like she has a bit of a character arc that doesn't necessarily have to do with Sasuke and Naruto, but even then is drawn together by the fact that Ino and Sakura only have this rival relationship because they're competing for Sasuke's affection. So even that I can't pronounce as perfectly something that's only Sakura's. As a woman, Sakura shouldn't be defined by the males in her life. But that seems to be all Kishi can do with female characters. And that in and of itself is what's wrong with Sakura. She is not her own person. She is only defined by who she ends up with. And this is shown many times throughout the series as part of the confession, as how the end depicts her getting together with Sasuke over Naruto. For Sakura, just like Hinata, it was always about who she was going to end up with, and that is the flaw of the female character in Naruto as a complete whole. Sans Naruto Gaiden. In Naruto Gaiden, Kishi introduces Sarada Uchiha, a character who's not completely fucking driven by the men in her life. Well, her father kind of, but Sarada Uchiha is kind of like Kishi's apology for how women have acted throughout the entirety of Naruto, driven by love and relationships as opposed to their own needs and goals. And this is everything Sakura herself embodies, a woman driven by a need to fill a hole in her heart with a man. If you could say that this is one of the best characters involved in Naruto when it has such an awful connotation for what it means for women, that's just bullshit. I am Retro. This is Retro Rips. Peace.